So I'll do a quick summary of what we did so far in Ramadrishti. This scripture is mostly for people who get stuck in doership, experiencership, and therefore they get caught in the wheel of action. So for those people, how to get out of such a vicious cycle, Ramagita helps, Ramadrishti helps. So far we have completed 19 verses where Rama handheld Lakshmana to the point where Maya ceases. And we'll do a quick summary of these 19 verses now. He started with this thing that you recognize that doership itself is a belief. For example, right now, I am not teaching. I am not even speaking. I am witnessing ekta, the body arising, come up, peak, recede. I experience the speech of ekta, arise, peak, and recede. I recognize the hand of ekta, move up like a wave, reach a peak of expression and recede. I stitch these three together. If I stitch these three together, the body arising, the speech arising, and the hand movement arising, if I stitch these three together and I assume they are mine, then that false belief, false assumption, that false ownership is doership. Because I'm trying to own the action, which is not an action really, which is actually one arising at a time. There is only one sensation of movement of the hand spontaneously in the air, and there is the sensation of the body arising along with it, and the belief that, oh, I am ekta, I am speaking. This is how the belief arises. Now you have become so strong in your belief that it's very hard for you to take the witnessing stand. But as you progress on the path of Advaitam, you start recognizing, I am this witnessing field in which ekta appears and disappears, in which the sound of ekta's speech appears and disappears, in which the movement of the hand appears and disappears. I become very clear, I am knowing this one movement at a time. Movement of consciousness actually. Only in the witness consciousness stand can I set my foothold or establish myself so strongly, grow roots that I can see that these are individual arisings. When I falsely sew them together, do a little bit of embroidery, and I make it my memory. I say, I am ekta and I am teaching. So there is assumption of ekta first, which is asmita or identity. Then there is assumption that I, ekta, am speaking. So this is assumption of action, which is doership. And then obviously naturally follows experiencership. Because I assume doership, I will say, oh, I experience pleasantness on teaching this, I experience unpleasantness on teaching this. This whole thing is a false story. This false story is ignorance. Okay? This is how Rama explains to Lakshmana that ignorance is the mother of action. Because I don't know who I am. I don't know that I am this witnessing awareness field. Because of that ignorance of my true self, I have jumped into the arising, sewn them together and started assuming this to be me, this body mind. No. That is not true. The reality is, I am here and I am knowing a body arise naturally out of the flow and disappear. If I am knowing it arise and I see it disappear, that means I am not it. I am something around it in which it arose, in which it peaked, and in which it naturally receded. So question number 1 for you. Do you recognize the body arising, naturally coming up, peaking and disappearing? Number 2, in moments where you are at the witnessing stand, you don't slip into the body. Do you recognize such moments? And question number 3, do you recognize those moments where you let go of your witnessing reality and you become the waker? I am this waker. Do you recognize how from the beautiful stand of my own true knowingness, I slipped into being the waker? Do you recognize that? Then you've started understanding ignorance a little bit. Ignorance is nothing but me not knowing that I am simply the witness consciousness. So far is clear? Are you clear that you are able to identify moments of ignorance and moments of wisdom? You've reached that point, especially those who did the Gurukul retreats this year. We went one level higher than the witness consciousness. Did you start recognizing that you are the one, that field of not consciousness in which the witness consciousness arises, and inside the witness consciousness the body arising appears? It's almost like the outer petal opens of a flower, which is nothing but the true self, the not consciousness, or the primordial awareness, or pure consciousness. And inside that, the witness consciousness arises, and inside the witness consciousness, there's a body arising of the waker. Are you able to see yourself at 3 levels? This is only for the people who did the recent retreats and got a little beyond the witness consciousness in the Gurukul retreats, both in Texas and in India. Those who have not got there, don't worry, we will get there. Just start recognizing that the body arising arose naturally, but I jumped from not consciousness to witness consciousness to this body arising, and I claimed it as mine. This is ignorance. The moment there is the sensation of movement of the hand, I jumped from the field of not consciousness to witness consciousness to the sensation of movement, and I said, this is mine, Mamata. There is no action happening. This is the reality that I see at the level of pure consciousness. This is what I recognize as my true self. In my true self, there is no consciousness, there is no action, there is no doership, there is no experiencership. Nada, nothing. There is no action happening. When I forget that, then I jump directly to the waker. Those who have not got to this level of not consciousness or pure consciousness or primordial awareness yet, don't worry, we will get there in our next samadhi, probably in the next retreat. Some of us got there, so therefore I am taking them ahead. It is equivalent to Jhana 9 on the Buddha's path, where you get to the not consciousness in the Advaita Samadhis. Naturally, you recognize where did the witnessing, the sense of witnessing that is there right now, where did it collapse? In Samadhi. Yes, and you realize From that only the witnessing came up. So who knows that the witness collapsed? Who knows that the witness re-emerged? Oh, that is me. But that is not conscious. It does not know itself. It does not perceive itself. On account of the witness consciousness arising and collapsing, it recognizes, oh, who knows? That means I am the knower of the witness consciousness. So I am beyond. But I cannot see myself, taste myself, touch myself, hear myself, perceive myself in any other way without the witness consciousness arising in me. Oh, I am not consciousness. This is the only consciousness. The witness consciousness is the Chid aspect. I am the Ananda aspect. Ananda is simply zeroness, equanimity, straight line. There is no plus or minus there. That is why there is no recognition of who I am. The moment you recognize this, ignorance is the root cause of this wheel of action. Ignorance is the root cause. And the only way I can eliminate the ignorance is by recognizing the witness consciousness that arises in me and using that witness consciousness as a tool to see myself. I don't see myself through these eyes. I'm speaking poetically. I know myself. I sense myself because of the witness consciousness that arises in me and collapses in me in samadhi. Or in Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. If it happens in one, it automatically seeps into the other. If it is not seeping into the other, it means that it did not really happen properly here. You just fabricated it because you've heard it so many times in knowledge. The mind can create ideas. No? So become more serious about samadhis at home. Become more serious about your Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana at home. The moment I recognize the witness consciousness appear and disappear, there is a recognition of the one to whom it appeared and disappeared. Who is knowing that? That is the elimination of ignorance. Now, this elimination of ignorance is possible only through knowledge. This is what Rama is telling Lakshmana. How can you recognize your true self through the waker Shailaja, the waker Ammi, the waker Archana? How can you recognize through the waker? It's not possible because the waker is only a story I have woven together by taking different arisings. I've created a memory and I say this is continuous ekta. But ekta is not continuous. This is an assumption. I say ekta is the doer. No, but ekta is not doing. When the body arising called ekta is there, the action of speech is not there. When speech is there, the body arising called ekta is not there. The two can never meet. So, action is not. Action is not. When action is not, doership is not. When doership is not, experiencership is not. Remember, only knowledge can eradicate the lack of knowledge. The only issue is I don't know that I am that pure consciousness. I don't know that I am the primordial awareness. I just need to see my pure self. I cannot see it directly because I am that. I just need the witness consciousness to arise in me and collapse in me. And I have a clear seeing of this arising and dissolution, arising and dissolution, arising, dissolution. I see it a few times in Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. I see it a few times in my Samadhi. And the conviction develops, Shraddha develops. Oh, who is knowing this? Who is knowing this? I know that I am. Who's the knower? Who's the ultimate knower? That's how you find yourself. Only knowledge can eradicate the lack of knowledge. Here, this is how Rama explained to Lakshmana, all this is false. Action is false. The idea of action exists, but it's a false idea. And that idea is born of ignorance. Now that which is born of ignorance cannot eradicate ignorance. Yeah? The waker is where? The waker has arisen in witness consciousness. Witness consciousness is where? It has arisen in the not consciousness. Because in not consciousness, it could not find its true identity. It got confused. That confusion of not knowing oneself is called ignorance. So where is the waker? The waker is inside ignorance. Inside the confusion, I know I am, but I don't know who I am. Who am I? And it keeps projecting. It projects in a dream character in the dream. It projects a waking character in the waking. And it keeps looking for its identity, continuously projecting, and trying to get validation from the waking or get validation from the dream. Let's say I am. I exist. Action is an idea born of this hankering for I am. See, I exist. From this validation, from this false sense of being somebody or wanting to be somebody, that false validation gives rise to all these stories of I am acting, of I am speaking, I am teaching. Yeah. I did this, I attained that, I made this house, got this car, I got this job, whatever. I have this family, this relationship, this network of friends, and etc. No. All these do not exist simultaneously. There is only one arising at a time. This is where Lord Rama brings Lakshmana. He says that it is all but a sprout of ignorance, and start seeing reality. Put the story aside. This entire memory of the waker and the waking world, put it aside. Just like in the night, you easily set aside the dream character and dream world. Yeah, like that only. Set aside the waking character and the waking world and see, there is only one arising at a time. And those who are writing notes, for a moment stop writing and look up. When you see Ekta, you don't hear Ekta. Do you recognize this? When you hear Ekta, you do not see Ekta. Thought arises, I understand. When the thought is, neither the sight of Ekta is there nor the sound of Ekta is there. There is only one arising on the background of the now, on the backdrop of the now. Can you recognize that? When you recognize this truth, hold on to it. This is the truth. Now, every arising comes with its corresponding untruth. Untruth, again, is getting stuck in the waker. I, the waker, am a sincere Advaitin. I am attending an Advaita session. I am attempting to grasp this wisdom. Do you see? That is all story. You don't see all this together. You either recognize your own thought, I am getting it, or that pleasant feeling that arises because of getting it. Or you see Ekta on the screen, or you hear the wisdom. Are you seeing this very clearly? One arising on the background of the now. This is reality. When I take all these arisings and I sew them together, that is samsara. That is how samsara is born. That is illusion. So obviously that which is born inside ignorance, the illusion of ekta, the waker, a continuous permanent entity, all this is an ignorant idea. It is inside ignorance, inside the search. Who am I? Who am I? I know I am, but I don't know who I am. That is ignorance. Yeah. That which is born in ignorance cannot eradicate ignorance. Hence, karma yoga cannot help. Action cannot eliminate the lack of wisdom. Yeah. Action itself is an illusion, and then it births the next illusion of the next effect of the action. And that's how you come up with karma, karma phalam, karma, karma phalam, karma, karma phalam. If you believe in karma, then you also believe in the idea that you're experiencing the karma phalam. If you become very clear, oh, there is no action happening, no karma, then where is the karma phalam? Then you start seeing very clearly in the middle of a chaos, big drama going on at the family level or in office or in your friends, big chaos, and somewhere you are all alone, unconcerned with the chaos, untouched, and you see, aha, that is the background of the now. That is me. That is me. I am just sewing arisings together, seeing that there is chaos going on here right now. But reality is that quiet, unconcerned background which is there, which is not involved. And only self-inquiry can take you there. Only self-inquiry, moment to moment to moment, can take me to the understanding that there is no karma and there is no karma phalam. The illusion of action then collapses, says Rama. Then the illusion of action will collapse. Yeah, but recognize this. For this illusion to collapse, it is very important that you inquire about the illusion. Inquiry is prerequisite here. And inquiry is nothing but Jnana Yoga. Yeah, Jnana Yoga does not require an action for moksha. Is inquiry an action? No, inquiry is not acting, standing at a distance and simply knowing the truth. And after I know it, I accept it. Yeah? Witness is standing at a distance, those who are at witness consciousness level, those who have moved to the not consciousness or pure consciousness level, standing there and recognizing, oh, there is just one arising at a time. Oh, every arising has the potentiality to captivate me into creating more memory story and believing I'm the waker. Oh, and there is the other side of the arising, the background of the now, which is unconcerned, natural vairagya. That is my window or door into moksha. Moksha, liberation from this illusion. Yeah, so remember, Jnana Yoga does not require action. In fact, self-inquiry is non-action or beyond action. Yeah, it's not even an inaction. It is beyond the idea of action and inaction. Yeah, not doing is the biggest kind of inquiry, self-inquiry. So when I recognize that the illusion of action is created because of this body-mind and the ego attached to this body-mind, now I'm very clear that knowledge can blossom only when this ego is eliminated. This is what Rama tells Lakshmana. This body ego must be eliminated, must be eradicated. Yeah. And if you're not there yet, then start with Niti Niti. Oh, I am not this weaker. Right now, when I was listening to Ekta, the body arising of the Advaitin student was not there. Suddenly she spoke about the body, and then the body arising appeared. And Ekta disappeared. So that means I'm not this body arising. Niti, Niti, not this, not this. Then I come to thought. When the thought I am getting it is there, Ekta is not there. When I focus on the knowledge, who's focusing? Is there a thought that is focusing? No, thought is so unconscious, it arises and dissolves immediately. It has only that much charge, no? Only that much charge. Arises like a wave, peaks and disappears. I still am when the body arising has disappeared. I still am when the thought arising has disappeared. Oh, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. Niti, Niti. Oh, then what am I? The one that is knowing the body arising, come up, peak and disappear. I am that which is knowing the thought arising, come up, peak, disappear. I am that which is knowing the feeling, come up, peak and disappear. Oh. Action belongs to the body and mind. It's just a story created there. Actually, there is no doer. There is no doer. It's simply the flow of arisings. One after the other, after the other, after the other. This recognition wakes you up. Oh, there is a flow of arisings. And they arise automatically, as if they have some kind of magical impulse that is pushing them from something deeper. What is it? Where is the first arising appearing from? From that same background of the now. And that same background of the now, those who have gone deeper into Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, recognize it as nothing but deep sleep. Those who have gone even beyond witness consciousness to the not consciousness or pure consciousness level, realize that, oh, it's even beyond deep sleep. From there, the arising is as if thrust out. A volcano of lava is there below the surface of deep sleep, and there it throws out the first eye. The eye goes and grasps something, creates a dream. That's how the first eye comes up. Oh. And it disappears. It's not constant. It appears, there is a dream object and there is something to know, so it's there and disappears. So what is this? Why is it there only when there is an object to know and it disappears? Because it does the same in the waking. Only when there's an object to know, the object disappears, the I disappears. Again it comes up. Oh, it's seeking validation in this object. Aha. It assumes cause-effect. Either way, it is creating a story. This is Karma Yoga. This is the illusion. What is the reality? That into which it disappears, that from which it reappears. I am the one that is knowing it reappear. I am the one that is knowing it disappear. Oh, I am beyond that. I am beyond that. That's how you do the niti, 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 eliminating all cause, effect, recognizing Karma Yoga assumes causes. And then giving up the whole idea of action, giving up the whole idea of doership, and simply being. Just be quiet all the activities of the senses and mind and contemplate on that which knows that I come up, that knows the I dissolve. And then you will realize very clearly, when I get enchanted by this Vaker's body-mind, I am enchanted by Deha Maya. When I get enchanted by this Vaker's world, I am enchanted by Moha Maya. When I am enchanted by spiritual knowledge, I am still enchanted. Remember, by Yoga Maya. I am enchanted by Maya when I identify with the body. But the moment I recognize, oh, I am the one that is knowing these Maya waves arise and dissolve, then I become disenchanted. I get disenchanted only by this inquiry. Oh, I'm not this, not this, I'm not this, I'm the one that is knowing this. This is where Rama says, give up action. Give up the idea of action completely. Just be quiet, quieten your senses, mind, and contemplate on that which knows the arising of action, knows the arising of doership, knows the arising of experiencership. That's when you realize, oh, I am the one that is projecting this because I did not know who am I. Now that I recognize who am I, past projections will still continue. They cannot stop. Past projections will still continue. It's like I fill fuel in the tank. Now that fuel needs to be exhausted. But I quit projecting new ideas, new illusions, new projections that make me again forget myself. All illusions of action, doership, experiencership, cause, effect, karma, karma phalam, all that story dissolves. Now I recognize, oh, I don't shuttle through waking, dream and sleep. I am the one beyond in which there is one waking arising and suddenly there is a dream arising. There is no 11, 12, 14-hour waking state really. No. It's actually moment to moment there is a waking arising or then imagination dream arising or a deep sleep where I'm completely zoned out. There but not there. So the shuttling through the states of existence now ceases completely. This is how direct knowledge will destroy all illusion, all cause effect. Even karma, karma phalam, all these get destroyed. Finally you recognize pure Advaitam. The idea of karma yoga comes to an end. You see that it had its futility seen, its pointlessness known, and automatically the karma yoga dropped. Karma and karma phalam drop. You just see them as arisings. That's it. There is no claim that I got to Advaitam. There is no claim that I made Dvaitam end because the I itself has collapsed. It is all happening of its own accord. Thus, Maya ceases. As in, the projection continues, but the projection is no more a problem to me. It does not captivate me. That way, Maya ceases. Question for you. Do I really see? And has Maya seized on me? Remember, you will still slip a little bit. Yes, that will continue. You will still slip a little bit here and there. But there is absolute clarity. No, I am this witnessing awareness field where this little slip happened into doership or experiencership. If that recognition is there, then do your samadhi practices very seriously. Do your swapna nidra jnana sadhana seriously and get to that self-conviction. Self-conviction is Shraddha. Ekta does not need to be convinced whether I see. I need to be convinced whether I see or I don't. Is that clear? Ekta's conviction will not bring self-conviction. Any other waking world entity's conviction will not convince me. Only my own direct seeing. Am I there yet? That is a little food for thought for this week. Be with these questions, be with this summary. Then we'll move on to verse 20 from the next week.
Ektaben, can we say that the flow is not different to me, because the stream as is perceived of vichara, if I'm not entangled by any of that through vasana, which has dropped as a consequence of non-doership and experiencership, then all there is just me.
Correct. Exactly.
Which is also the flow.
Correct.
Which is also the now.
Yes, not also, which is the now. It is me.
Oh, yes, fine.
Yes, it is me. I am the not consciousness, and the movement in not consciousness is the flow. When this movement is not there, that's me. That's the one. The consciousness at rest is the one that is recognizing the movement in consciousness. This is a very clear seeing of the samadhi. It's a little doorway in, getting your foot in now. That first glimpse, 10 on 10, you got there, fantastic. Now you have to work on it when you're back at home. It's different, you got it in your samadhi practice, isolated from your attachments at the retreat. Yeah, it's so easy to see over there because there's no attachment. I've taken your phone away also. But back at home, now you have all your attachments, all your gadgets, all your relatives, all your friends, all the money, name, fame, everything that can pull you out. Here is where you experiment. Now is when you experiment. Are you there yet? Can I recognize the same not consciousness and movement in not consciousness as recognized by the not consciousness at rest? Is there a clear seeing of that? Back at home it's important. Yes, samadhi is not samadhi unless you take it back into your open-eyed routine. Very simply, just watching, you have to do nothing. If you do, then it is karma yoga, huh? Not doing. That is the key. Not doing. Simply being. Being with what is. Okay.